Yo, what's going on, everybody? D-Ro here for a whole lot of other sports. Just gonna do a little DFS breakdown today. I was building a lineup last night and said, fuck it, might as well come on. I'll let you guys know some of the guys I was seeing, some, must starts, some value plays for all positions in, DraftKings. I didn't do FanDuel prices. I just kind of ran out of time, but in the future when I do stuff like this, I'll make sure I include both, because I know people, they enjoy playing FanDuel as much as they like playing DraftKings, so might as well at least get the prices right for both. But this will be pretty quick, so I want to get this done. Woke up a little late today, so don't have as much time. I want to get this out to you guys before the games start, so we'll dive right in. We're going to look at some pitchers. Right off the bat, Verlander versus Tampa Bay. He's 11,000. Very expensive, but he's playing Tampa Bay. Their lineup is, fairly newly constructed, I guess I would say. It's new pieces this year. They're really no match for Verlander. I think Verlander gets at least 10 Ks. So at 11,000, there's still plenty of value across the board on the positions where you can build a decent lineup. Masahiro Tanaka against Baltimore, 9,300. I don't think Baltimore's going to be any good this year. I really don't. Similar situation. I think Tanaka's going to go out there, pitch 6 or 7 strong, get to the bullpen. But I think, he's going to have at least 8 Ks. And, I could see him, at least 8, depending on how long he's in there. But, I think he's really going to pitch a gem today against Baltimore. And I really think the Yankees are just going to, annihilate him. And you'll see that trend by position as I go. I have a lot of Yankees I'm taking today. Excuse me. So I'm moving on. He's 9,300 for Tanaka. So, another guy I think is going to really deliver. That's cheaper than Verlander. Take a look at him. There are 3 more pitchers on the list. Carlos Rodon for the White Sox going against Kansas City. He's 7,500. He's had a real rough spring this year. I think he's like a 5.4, 5.5 ERA for the spring alone. Which happens to guys at times. I'm not going to look too much into it. I'm hoping he was just, working on some things. Different angles, different arm angles, different pitches, different grips. People do that all the time. So I'm hoping that doesn't translate into the regular season. Playing Kansas City today. Don't really expect much out of Kansas City's lineup. So hoping if Rodon just has a fairly decent day for the price tag, he can catch us some decent points. Digging a little deeper here. Marcus Stroman for Toronto going up against Detroit. So Stroman's had a real good spring compared to last season, where he obviously struggled. His record was no good. His ERA was over 5, I'm pretty sure. And if you look back at his past 2 seasons, he's pitched over 200 innings, 180 strikeouts, I think, both seasons at least. That's probably a little high. I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate. But, looking down at this Tigers lineup, besides like Castellanos and, Miguel Cabrera, there's really no one else that is threatening. So I think Stroman comes out. I think he's going to get at least 7 or 8 strikeouts for 6,900. That's big money. That's a solid steal in daily fantasy, in my opinion. And I think he's gonna go at least 7 innings. So I know I'm definitely gonna have shares. I already have Stroman in 2 lineups that I was constructing last night. And if we're really going cheap down here, Eric Lauer against the Giants for 5,600, San Diego Padres pitcher. It's more or less a chance. I can build a pretty pretty solid lineup with a pitcher for 5,600 and be really strong in other positions. Just know, like, this isn't like a strong play at all. I mean, he's going up against Bumgarner, so not guaranteed he's going to get the win. I mean, none of these guys are, but he's got definitely a tougher road than some of the guys I mentioned earlier. He's had a hell of a spring. 12 strikeouts and 10 scoreless innings, so he's hot. Just got to hope it translates over, and the Giants' poor lineup, doesn't just come alive today. That's it for pitchers. Gonna move over to catching position. Gonna take a look here real quick. I got 4 catchers listed down. JT Realmuto for Philly against Atlanta. He's one of the top 4 hitting catchers. And he's got, now he's got like Harper, Reese Hoskins, Gene Segura. I mean, the team around him is very deep, so he's going to be, protected a bit more. And he's going to have much more coverage around him. So, at 4,500, I think he's the most expensive catcher today. Depending who you take at other positions, definitely take a look at him. He's had a good, pretty decent spring. So, I expect, I think he'd be able to get to Teheran. He's seen a ton of them in division as it is. So, it's not like he's facing anybody he hasn't seen before. For 4,300, Gary Sanchez against Baltimore. Andrew Cashner is pitching. Sanchez has struggled this spring. He struggled last year. Andrew Cashner, I don't think is a very good pitcher. So I'm hoping, with the coverage of Stanton and Judge and Voit and Bird and all these other guys, that Sanchez is going to see some decent pitching. And, he might get a hold of one. That's all you're pretty much looking for. I mean, the catcher position is so weak that, you kind of have to spend for these top guys. And 4,300 is not terrible. There's, like I said, a couple of these other positions when we going through, there is some value. Third guy I wrote down is Jonathan Lucroy for the Angels, 3,300, taking on Oakland. I think Mike Fiers is starting for them. He's had a hot spring. He's hitting 366 this spring. Last time, Lucroy had a pretty horrible year last year, but last year he had a spring like this where he was tearing the cover off the ball. He hit about, I think he topped out at 24 home runs, which, for him is pretty big. For most of the catchers in the league today, that's, a really nice number. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he had a couple hits today. I mean, 3,300 is a flyer, but, a guy that's that hot, you gotta, take a chance on him. And last but not least on the list, Francisco Cervelli, taking on Cincinnati, and I think Luis Castillo is pitching for them. Castillo's he's definitely their best pitcher. He's had a pretty good spring. Second half of the year last year, he was pretty much dynamite. Some of these positions are just not, there's not too many options at catcher, so you really gotta just take who you can get, essentially. And I think Cervelli for 3,400, top 7 hitting catchers in baseball, you gotta take him. Okay, so we're digging to shortstops really quickly. 4,800, top guy wrote down Javi Baez for the Cubs, taking on the Rangers and Travis Miners on the mound. Baez had a pretty rough spring. I'm hoping it doesn't translate over to the regular season because he was electric last year. I mean, he was doing it all for the team. It was definitely his big breakout season. So at 4,800, I just kind of like the pitching matchup. That's kind of it. But I think Baez, 4,800, I think he could probably, he's one of those guys, probably be highly owned if you're playing tournament competition type of playing. But keep your eye out for Baez. Moving along, 4,400, Gleyber Torres. I got Torres, I think, written down at shortstop and second base because he qualifies for both. Excuse me. So I'm only going to mention him once and just know he's valuable for both positions. Going up against Andrew Cashner. Don't like Cashner. I'm fading him pretty hard. That's pretty much it. One of my lineups is, I have like 6 Yankees in it. I just think they're going to have a big run day. I think they're going to put up like 8 or 9 on this guy early. Torres definitely has the ability to contribute to that. So 4,400, that's the guy you're to want in your lineups most of the season. Shortstop, tough position. It's not as it's more top heavy than it has been recently. So there wasn't too many value plays that I liked. So more or less, the next 2 guys, like I think Gene Segura is the cheapest guy I had. Price wise, he's around 4,000. But again, he's going up against Julio Teheran in Atlanta. Segura was money last year. I think they're batting him second in the lineup. He's going to have like Harper and Hoskins right behind him. So he's going to have insane coverage and protection. So he's going to see some really great pitching. So, if he repeats what he did last year offensively, he's going to have a really nice year. And I think he can have a pretty nice day for 4,000. But less than the list, Tim Anderson, 4,400 for the White Sox, going up against Kansas City, and Keller is pitching for them. The Keller's had a fairly decent spring. I know he pitched like above his means last year for the team. He got by just with with good accuracy. He doesn't blow people out of the water, Keller. So this spring alone, he's allowed 11 runs on 20 hits in 14 innings. So it's a bit high. So if you can get a couple guys on the White Sox, definitely check the weather for this game. I was just looking at the DraftKings app this morning, checking my lineup out before I jumped on here, and it does seem there's a little bit of some rain forecast for the area. So definitely watch, see what's going on there. Check your lineups before everything locks in. Around game time, so you don't have a player locked in that isn't playing. That's always shitty, and it's tough. So they don't do the best of informing you, but you gotta go out there and do it yourself and make sure you don't screw yourself over. But for 4,400, Tim Anderson, could have a pretty nice day. Moving on to second base. Already talked about Gleyber Torres. Adam Frazier for Pittsburgh, 3,200. Against Luis Castillo. Castillo, best pitcher the Reds got. He's real nice. Had a pretty decent spring. But Frazier, a lot of people are talking about in the spring. Hey, he was decent when he was up last year. So this spring he's hitting 333 this spring. He used to be the leadoff hitter. Just hoping the amount of at-bats are going to translate to more opportunities on base and everything. More, the name of the game for DraftKings and stuff is the amount of, as many at-bats as you can. And the guy that's hitting, going from 1 for 3 as a leadoff hitter, if you can get that 4th at-bat, that'd be huge. So especially for 3,200, you're looking for value, and Frazier could produce some pretty decent value for you today. Moving along, Joe Panic versus the Padres. He's the giant second baseman against Lower again for the Padres. First time I think Panic's been healthy for a little while. At least going off of like consecutively, because he's had lots of injuries in career. Whenever he's healthy, he's very consistent. Average hitter, hits for contact. got a little bit of pop. For 3,300, he could probably get you 5 or 6 points. I think the Padres would be really good, but it doesn't matter how good their rotation was in the spring or anything like that. You got to prove it on opening day. And Panic's a bet. I think he'll be able to really at least get you 5 or 6 points for that price tag. That's real. That's cheap. And that's really all I had, including Gleyber Torres. That's all I have for second base. The list it's not very deep. It's not very strong. So we're not going to go to really look into it too much. All right, we got third base, first base, and a couple outfield plays. So third base, real quick, 5,400, Chris Bryant against Texas. The Cubs lineup stacked. 5,400, definitely expensive, but he's going to have tons of opportunities and men on base ahead of him all season long. Things that happen again today. So if you got the money for it, spend it, take him. All right, next on the list, 4,700, Matt Chapman versus the Angels. Trevor Cahill's on the mound for the Angels. Chapman had he played pretty well over in Japan the first 2 games last week. He ended up batting 400, I think, if you look at the 2 games combined. He had, an RBI. He had a double in there. Trevor Cahill for the Angels. It's all right. It doesn't have it's got decent stuff, but kind of like Matt Chapman, 4,700. I think keeps the ball rolling today. Moving on, 4,200, Miguel Andujar for the Yankees. Once again, fading Cashner. Andujar has had a very strong spring so far, batting 347. Throughout spring training, I just like Gleyber Torres, just like Judge, I'm going to talk about. I was gonna mention Bird, Tulowitzki, Voit, basically the entire Yankees lineup. If you can get any shares of them today, I would get them in your lineup. I think they're to play really well today. The same thing goes for Miguel Andujar, obviously. And for 4,200, he's on the cheaper side. I'd keep your eye on him at that price as long as you can, because as the season progresses, he's going to be going up, more around 47, 4,800. Obviously, depending on the game, but yeah, I think he's going to be one of the more expensive options as the season progresses. Last but not least, the third baseman, Brian Anderson of Miami, going against Kyle Freeland in Colorado. Freeland is a very good pitcher for Colorado. He's had some really good years. Last year, he had a really nice year. Brian Anderson, this is a pure value play for 3,200. He's hitting 400 in the spring. Every time I look to see, and check out what he's been doing, he's on base 50% of the time, 3 for 4, 2 for 4, double, single, run scored. He puts the bat on the ball. He hits really well for contact. The guy for 3,200, you're not going to find too many better options than Brian Anderson. The matchup isn't super great today against Freeland, but especially in this division that Miami's in, you got to take your opportunities when you can. So this is what I'm jumping all over. And we're going to shift over to first base really quick. Kind of just moving through this fast, guys. I got to make sure I edit this before I get to work. So 5,300, Rizzo versus Texas. Worth the price. Definitely worth the price. 5,300. I think him, Bryant, Schwarber are going to be real money this year. Moving on, 4,700, Jose Abreu for the White Sox, going up against Keller. Abreu's a vet. He'll always, he produces basically the same numbers every year. So he's going to get his. Keller, not a big strikeout guy, so if he just puts the ball over the plate, Abreu's going to smash it. Once again, check the weather in that game before you lock your lineups in. 4,500, Luke Voit. I mentioned before, same thing, going against Baltimore. Also, Voigt's DHing. He's not playing the field, so he's literally just in there for his pop. They had Bird playing first. They went with the defensive glove. So, I think 4,500 Voit could have a lot worse. Last but not least, for first base, going with Josh Bell versus Cincinnati. 3,700 price tag. This is definitely a boomer bust pick here, especially for first base. Most guys are definitely more expensive than this. And, you're probably not looking this low for a guy, but if you are, he's had a pretty slow spring, but, he's going to be hitting in the 4-hole for him. He's going to have plenty of opportunities with men on base. So, even a slow start, you got to take a shot on him. That's basically it. I mean, if you're looking for a guy that's cheap, for the Pirates, they already locked him up, said he's going to be hitting the 4-hole. It's where he has his entire career. So you take, you need a guy, take a flyer on him. I think he's going to do pretty well today. Okay, onto the outfield. Judge and Trout, guys right at the top. Judge 5,500. I mean, I don't need to talk about Baltimore anymore. Judge, he's gonna homer today. I definitely believe that's to be a fact. Trout against Mike Fiers. Trout's best player in the league. If you could afford him, roster him every night. That's pretty much how I see it. He has more protection this year. Obviously, he's got still has Pujols. They added Bohr from Miami. He's a big bruising lefty. So he's definitely going to have more opportunities this year to see some better pitching. So, 5,600, expensive, but if you have the money, roster him. He's the best player in the league. Giancarlo Stanton at 5,100. Once again, I think him and Judge are going to go back-to-back today. Especially down playing in Baltimore. It's a huge hitter's park. I think they're going to absolutely blow the roof off of the Orioles today. All right, we're getting a little cheaper here. 4,500, Kyle Schwarber against Texas. You guys see the trends. I got a couple fades I'm really playing. I don't like Minor for Texas at all. I don't think he is a good opening day pitcher. I think he's a fucking number 3 pitcher at best for any team. That's just my opinion. But Schwarber, expecting a massive year out of him, so if I can get him 4,500 cheaper, I'm going to be playing him every night. I think he's got a lot. I think he's going to hit at least 35 homers this year, so I'm going to be riding him all year. So Schwarber for 4,500. Like to pick the play a lot. All right, we got 3 more. Going Joey Gallo versus the Cubs. John Lester's on the mound. It's 4,200. Gallo, big boomer goat bust guy. Does not hit for average. He's going to kill you for average, but he's got huge home run potential. He slugged at least 30-something, maybe even 40 homers last year. You're playing Joey Gallo, you're hoping for a home run. You're hoping for, or even like a 2-for-4 day with, 2 doubles, which, they don't come too often, but you're hunting the home run at this price. Lester, he's aging, he's a fine pitcher, but, stuff isn't where it was or as good as it was. And whenever he gets a man on, he always seems to struggle out the stretch. So, I don't hate the Gallo play today, especially early on. See what he could do. All right, 2 more. Corey Dickerson for the Pirates against Luis Castillo. All right, it's 3,800. Dickerson, actually, he's been hitting 424 this spring, which is pretty impressive for him. I know he had a pretty down year last year. He didn't hit as many home runs the year before when he was with Tampa. I think he hit like 20-something homers, 24 homers, or something like that. Last year, I think he only had 16. This is a huge contract year for him this year. So, he's going to be going out there and, he's going to have probably his best year, as most guys do. He's trying to get that last contract or that next contract. So he's definitely someone to watch, especially 3,800. Take a flyer on him. It's not necessarily the best matchup as some of these other guys, but I have no problem putting him against Castillo. I think Dickerson, at that price tag, I like it a lot. And last but not least, last play of the day, Billy Hamilton for the Royals going up against Carlos Rodon and the White Sox. 3,500. The only value here, the only reason I would take Billy Hamilton, especially because I think he's batting out of the the 9-hole for him with Merrifield, the leadoff hitter. I'm just hoping he gets on base. I'm hoping he gets on, hoping it's not a walk. Hopefully he gets a hit, like a single or a double, because he's fast as hell. So if he gets on, he's going to be swiping a bag, maybe 2. So with a guy like that, who's not as great of a hitter as, a lot of other guys in the league, the steal potential is too good to pass up. If you can afford, if your lineup is strong enough and you're confident enough, searching for a guy for a steal, maybe 2. Billy Hamilton's the guy, especially in this matchup with Rondon. Has not had a very strong spring, so you can get some value with Billy Hamilton today, and have a share or 2 of them, just because of that potential. Just like I'll play D. Gordon most times, depending on the price, because he gets on base, he's swiping 1, he's swiping 2. Who knows? But that's it, guys. Hope you see. I'm gonna have this upload real shortly. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys listen to it. Hope this helps you out with some of your plays today. I'm out. Yo, what's going on, everybody? D-Ro here for a whole lot of Nothin Sports. Just gonna do a little DFS breakdown today. I was building a lineup last night and said, fuck it, might as well come on. I'll let you guys know some of the guys I was seeing, some, must starts, some value plays for all positions in, DraftKings. I didn't do FanDuel prices. I just kind of ran out of time, but in the future when I do stuff like this.